I believe that everybody has a story, and I'm fascinated to hear them. So come with me as we take a walk down Fascination Street.
Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This is one of those rare return guest episodes. This episode is another conversation with Ashley Arpel Greenwald. In this episode, we talk about her new cookbook, Think Outside The Lunchbox, which is a plant-based cookbook featuring 250 plant nutritious recipes. This book is a little bit unique in the way that it's stylized and the way the pages are set up with different segments about whether or not it'd be easy and fun to have your kids help you cook. There's some ingredient swap suggestions when that is a possibility, and even storage suggestions for if you have leftovers and whatnot. I highly recommend this book. It's super dope, and it's really beautiful to check out. Even if you don't ever make anything, it's just a wonderful book to look at and read. And also in this episode, we playfully poke fun at Ashley's boyfriend. So, Scott, if you're listening, know this was all in jest, just giving you a hard time. And folks, this is my second conversation with Ashley Arpel Greenwald.
Yeah, talk to me.
Welcome to Fascination Street Podcast, Ashley Arpel Greenwald. How you doing?
I am doing so well, thank you. How are you?
I am wonderfulonium. Thank you for asking. Now, for those listening, this is a rarity on the show. This is Ashley's second appearance. We don't really do a whole lot of second appearances, so you're in pretty rare air, lady.
Well, thank you so much. I had such a good time the first time around. I had to circle on back.
Heck yeah, we had a blast. So everybody who didn't catch that first one, go back and check it out because it is a lot of fun. Topically, it is 180 degrees different from what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, very, very different.
Last episode, we talked about...
I think my movie had just come out, Destined to Ride.
Yeah, last time you were on, we talked about your movie that had just come out, and we talked also, not as much, but we talked about your baking and cooking and things. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Ashley has a new cookbook out. It's called Think Outside The Lunchbox. It is a cookbook with her and another, is she a chef or a cook or what is she?
That's actually my boyfriend's mother. So
oh, nice.
She has had, I believe it's about 10 cookbooks in the last, 15 years. And this is her first one back in a few years. And we just decided to work together.
So you're saying she's lazy?
I'm saying she needed a good kick in the tuchus from me. No, I'm kidding.
In the tuchus.
Yeah, you could definitely tell where I'm from when I say that.
Yeah, Dallas. Ashley mentioned her mother-in-law, who is the co-author of this book, or yeah, whatever. It's both of them. But her name is Jyl Steinback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's wonderful. She has this nonprofit called Shape Up US, and it's fantastic. It's promoting healthy eating around the world, and it starts in the schools. It's really, really great. I definitely think people should look that up. Look her up.
That sounds disgusting. Hold on while I chew on this bacon for a minute.
No judgment.
Ashley was kind enough to send me this wonderfully thick book. It is, how many recipes are in here? Like 1 million?
Close, but there are 250 recipes in there, but it ranges from appetizer, hors d'oeuvre to dessert and everything in between. It's all plant-based, plant nutritious, but we do have an entire chapter dedicated to burgers, plant-based burgers, of course. So lots of nutrition.
So this entire cookbook is vegetarian and or vegan recipes, right?
Yes, all of that. They're 100% vegan. Jyl hates when I use that word, but I feel like it gets the point across. She doesn't feel like it exemplifies the book. She thinks it'll scare people, but that's exactly what it is. It is vegan, vegetarian, plant-based recipes.
Well, I can understand where she's coming from because in our current society, the word vegan has some negative connotations attached to it.
Sure.
Pretentiousness being one of them and smugness and things like that. So I get where she's coming from. So we will refer to it as a plant-based cookbook from here on out.
Awesome. Works for me. Thank you.
All right. So this vegan cookbook, I'm just kidding. I know that you are vegan or vegetarian, one of those. We talked about that last time.
Yeah.
What made you decide to partner with this young woman and put a cookbook out. Why a cookbook, I guess is my question.
Why a cookbook? That's a great question.
Oh, I'm going to interrupt you real quick.
Okay.
How nice, right?
Yeah.
What a consummate professional.
Used to it. No worries.
How dare you? Everybody listening, I just want to point out that the Adam Carolla show, which they're a bunch of friends of mine, and I've interviewed just about everybody with the show, blah, blah, blah. They had their 10-year anniversary almost exactly a year ago right now. And this young lady, Ashley, was kind enough to bake a whole mess of cupcakes and take them over there for their happy anniversary. So I just wanted to, I thanked you, I guess, over whatever, but I just wanted to personally, vocally, thank you so much for doing that. That was super, super cool. And the feedback that I got from all the guys and the girls was that they were amazing and they loved it and were very appreciative. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you again.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for thinking of me when that time came around. I really appreciate it. Still waiting for the 11th anniversary, but we'll see.
You are welcome. So let's get back to it. So why a cookbook?
Why a cookbook? Great question. I had already had so many recipes written because I used my platform on social media to post recipes. So when Jyl had approached me, I think I had been dating her son at that point for 3 months. So it was very early on, but she just asked at first if I wanted to contribute a few dessert recipes to her new cookbook. Then it just sort of developed in working together, just so many conversations and so many ifs and ands or buts that we just decided to go. I wanted to say go ham, but I feel like we can't say that. So we'll find a vegetable to say. But we just wanted to go crazy and just 50-50 the recipes. And we had some blogger friends come in and write a few recipes that we also knew were plant-based and plant nutritious. And I think there's no better way than online, social media, and through an actual book to spread the word and knowledge of being plant-based. I don't want to criticize anyone that's not, but we do have a lot of great information in this book. It's not just recipes. We worked with a nutritionist who is wonderful, and she created 7 days of meals. That's all the way in the back. And we actually have pictures that you can see, and it tells you exactly what bean you're working with in the back of the book as well. And beans are very, very prevalent in a plant-based, plant nutritious diet. And the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, they provided this incredible photo of a whole food plant-based plate with, plant proteins, whole grains, with water, fruit, and vegetables. So I believe we are the first book to have this colored photo in it.
Oh, nice.
Through the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. Yeah, so it's really, really exciting. So I guess why a cookbook? Because Jill's books have done so well in the past, and she just wanted to spread more of her knowledge.
Oh, nice.
And then I jumped on and said, why not me?
Now, even though your specialty generally is sweets and baked goods and things like that, there are a lot of things in here from you that are not those things. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting here looking at a sweet and sour edamame right now on page 283 that looks delectable.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I grew up cooking and baking with my dad, and I love cookies. I love cupcakes. I love cake. I adore donuts. But like the book says, you have to give your body the proper nutrition before you can indulge in sweets. And I guess my recipes just sort of came from what I like the most when I go out to a restaurant. And so what can I bring home and make myself that would, I guess, sort of emulate it? That may be the right word or completely incorrect.
I think emulate's a pretty good word.
Okay, cool.
So this is your now mother-in-law, right?
Not yet.
Aha,
not yet.
That was going to be my question because
she's my boyfriend's mother.
Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute. The last time we talked, she was not married. Okay, cool. So you're still not.
No.
All right, guys. There's still a chance.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Just kidding.
Yeah. I love the way you said that. So you're still not. You're still not. Okay, good. She's not married. Everybody, make sure my grandma hears you.
Are y'all engaged?
We have been talking about it.
No. All right. So what is your boyfriend's name? Just his first name.
His name is Scott.
All right. So, Scott, I know you're listening, and we've never met, and I'm far enough away where there's nothing you can do about what I'm about to say, but, bro, get off your ass and marry this girl. You need to lock this girl down. She does all these cookings, and she is the sweetest person. And also, she doesn't look like Grover. Let's just say that, okay?
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to give you his cell after this. I want you to call him and say all of that. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to talk about this book, of course, but we're also going to talk about a few of the specific recipes. So if everybody would grab their hymnals and turn to page 65.
I'm going right now.
I want to talk about planterific pancakes.
Ooh, yeah. Did you see that picture?
I was going to get to those pictures. There's also pictures in here, guys, and these pictures are amazing.
They
are full color. They are, oh, look at that. There they are. Those pancakes look marvelous.
Thank you. I took that photo, actually.
Really? So you're also a photographer?
Yeah, I'm food stylist and food photographer.
Holy shit. Did you take all these photos or no?
Most of them.
Just that one? I just opened up to the one you took?
I took all of my recipes,
really?
But then some of our blogger friends contributed their own photos.
Sure.
And I took Jyl's recipes, too.
Oh, cool.
I took all of mine and Jyl's recipes. Yeah.
Nice. What made you guys decide to reach out and involve other people? Because I did mention that it's you and Jyl, but also it's and friends. So there's a few other names in here. So what made you guys decide to invite other folks? Because this cookbook could have been pretty thick with just you two. So what made you guys want to add some more folks?
Well, we were spreading the word and talking about the cookbook before it was a cookbook. And we just realized that so many people had such, not just high hopes for us, but they were excited to use it themselves. They said, well, I'm plant-based, but I would love to have more recipes. So when we talked to all of our friends that were plant-based, Jyl actually had the idea to include them all. And she wanted to make this sort of like the plant-based chicken noodle soup for the soul, like incorporate a bunch of people that believe in the same thing and want the same thing, at least out of their nutrition and their lifestyle. It was really, really nice to see people come together and really want something great to happen.
Nice. So one of the things that I want to point out about this book, so like I said, we're looking at page 65, these planterific pancakes. You guys did a really cool thing that I don't think I've ever seen in a cookbook before. You guys have it broken down in a couple of different sections. So you have the level, whether it's easy or hard or various in between states. You also have, if it's a kid-friendly dish. Now, does that mean that kids can help make it, or kids will love to eat it?
It's sort of all-inclusive. We actually go over that in the introduction area. I'm going to bring that up so I can read exactly what it says.
All right, cool.
Okay, definitions. So kid-friendly, and I read, while all of our recipes are great for the whole family, kids included, recipes designated with the kid-friendly logo are also easy for kids to get into the kitchen to help create these delicious dishes. So that's exactly what you said. It's that all of the recipes are great for children and the entire family, but if something says kid-friendly in it, in the recipe, that means that kids can enjoy. There's no sharp knives needed. They can help mom and dad, sister, brother, best friend create the dish.
Very cool. And I would like to point out that regardless of whether you eat plant-based 100% or not at all, I think that one of the maybe solutions to the catastrophic weight epidemic in this country is the lack of eating at home. And so I think that getting kids into the kitchen and having them help you make things will entice them to get into the kitchen more and maybe order Uber Eats less.
Oh, absolutely. It's really great just to do things as an entire family. And what's great about these recipes is that some of them are really easy and really simple and really short, like the sweet and sour edamame that we were talking about before. But some of these recipes have multiple steps, and to include, they're easy steps, but to be able to have fun with your family while cooking in the kitchen, it's very nice. And that's something that we wanted to shine a light on in this book.
Well, I think that's awesome because, there's really nothing better for bonding than everybody putting down their damn phones and turning off the TV and all getting together and getting dirty and doing something as a team. So I think that's really cool.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad you feel the same way.
Yes, absolutely. I have 2 children and they are old people now. And every night of the week we had dinner together, Monday through Friday.
That's lovely.
Weekends, kids go do whatever you want. But
You're off the chain, off the hook.
They're off the hook for having to hang out with us fuddy-duddies.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
Guess what, Streetwalkers? The gear is here. A bunch of you have been asking for quite some time, and now finally it's here. Head over to FascinationStreetPod.com and check out the gear tab. There, you'll find all kinds of FSP items to tickle your fancy. T-shirts, coffee mugs, sticker packs, pins, buttons, coasters, and my personal favorite, for just $5 you can get one of those weird little phone handle pop thingies. So head to FascinationStreetPod.com and show the world that you're proud to be a streetwalker. Special thanks to my good buddy Stephen O'Reilly from the Bar Star Podcast for these dope drum beats. Check out Steve's work at O'Reilly Drums on Instagram or search Stephen O'Reilly on YouTube.
Let's get back into it.
So, back to the way the book is structured. So, like I said, you have the cooking level and the kid friendliness, but you also have it broken down into, of course, the ingredients and the directions, but you have a shopping list, you have an ingredient swap, you have tips and or facts, and in some cases you have storage suggestions, if you have leftovers or whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think that's really cool. And of course, also the nutritional information per serving. But I don't think I've ever really seen all of those different components in a book. That's really cool. Whose idea was that?
That was sort of everyone's different ideas coming together.
So you're saying it was my idea. Awesome. Thank you so much. That's
Absolutely.
Really cool.
You get full credit. You are another co-author.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to change my name to And Friends.
That is funny. That was very, very good. It was just sort of a plethora of different ideas that everyone had, and it all just came together. So Jyl really wanted to do a shopping list, and that was something that I thought was a great idea, but my passion was more in the ingredient swap, because there are certain ingredients that maybe you can get in California, where I am, easily, but perhaps in New York or, Texas or anywhere else, you might not be able to get. So that was something that I was very passionate about, as well as our nutritionist, who thought that was a very, very good idea to have in the book.
Yeah, I think that's really cool because half the time when I'm watching the Food Network, they'll say, hey, go get this or add that or this and that. And then I go to the store and then they look at me like I am lost, like I'm in the wrong place. And so, I live in a small town outside of San Antonio. And yeah, we have one of the our grocery store chain, which is a San Antonio based company, was just voted the #1 grocery store in America. Mm-hmm. But still, there's some things that I can't find sometimes. So I think it's really cool to be able to have an ingredient swap in there. That's really dope.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to let them all, they're going to hear this, but I'm still going to tell them when we get off the phone that you like it.
Actually, you know what? We're telling them right now. You don't have to tell them nothing.
All right.
All right. Now, besides pancakes and banana breads and blueberry breads and all kinds of, man, this is amazing. Avocado shell bowls. You guys have some crazy stuff in here. Beefless stew. So there's a lot of good stuff in here, but also there's drinks in here.
Yes, they are non-alcoholic. Of course, you can choose to absolutely add alcohol, but they're juices. So that credit goes all to Jyl. We were in the final editing stage, and Jyl calls us and goes, "We need to have a chapter on juicing. It is very popular." So that is all.
Why is she shouting at you?
You know what? I don't know. But she was very adamant that we needed a chapter on juicing. Everyone's obsessed with the celery juice cleanse. I've tried it. Well, let me rephrase. I took a sip of celery juice once, and that constitutes as trying it in my mind. Not for me.
Yeah, I mean, like if you murdered somebody, then you can say you tried murder. You don't ever have to do it again to say that you you do say
that. And I did do it again because I really enjoyed it.
Well, let's not be ridiculous. I mean, it's juiced celery. Calm down. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about chocolate cake and frosting and chocolate marshmallows. Tell me about chocolate marshmallows. That sounds like a wonderful dream.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That was not an accident, but so there are two different marshmallow recipes in this book. There's the chocolate marshmallows and the maple marshmallows. So how that came about was that I used this natural powder. It's called agar powder.
Sure.
And AGAR. Sometimes it's actually referred to as agar powder, but either way, it's a natural plant-based gelatin powder. So I knew that I wanted to make marshmallows because who doesn't love marshmallows? But I didn't really know how to make them sweet without using granulated sugar. Dates are very sweet. Bananas are very sweet. Coconut can be sweet, but it's not my favorite type of sweetener. Maple, I love. So I thought, okay, well, a lot of these non-plant-based recipes have a ton of regular granulated sugar. I'm going to cut that down and switch up the sugar. And I used maple sugar. And the marshmallows had this beautiful light brown tint to them, and they just were delicious. So I thought, maybe I should add chocolate and have two different recipes. And who doesn't love chocolate? You know, except for Scott, my boyfriend, he hates chocolate. But everyone else in the world loves chocolate.
Oh, my God, Scott, you're not looking good here, bro.
Everyone else loves chocolate. That's actually why Jyl requested and succeeded with having my chocolate cake on the back of the book. She really, really wanted chocolate to be the first photo that people see.
Well, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I am going to go back because you said you were trying to cut the granulated sugar. Can I ask why? Is granulated sugar not vegan?
It is vegan, but this book is granulated sugar-free. This book is processed sugar-free.
No kidding.
I promise you, you will not find real, like, granulated sugar, brown sugar. We use things like dates, date sugar, date syrup, coconut sugar, and coconut milk. Bananas are very sweet. We use applesauce. My favorite sweetener is maple syrup. Therefore, I love maple sugar. Everything in this book is completely processed sugar-free.
What was the reason for that? What precipitated that decision? Was it, like you said at the beginning, y'all were trying to make it a sort of a healthier book?
We were trying to make it more of a nutritious book. Healthier, yes, but more so, we wanted to use natural sweeteners. Yes, granulated sugar, it is delicious. And there are certain things that you just can't really create without that. But we wanted something that people can easily create at home that still tasted really yummy. So obviously, I mean, what else is the point of a cookbook? But leaving out processed sugar was just a cherry on top, I guess you can say, of an already plant nutritious cookbook. We just didn't want anything processed. We wanted everything to be natural.
That makes sense. If everybody would grab their hymnals and flip to page 265, I want to talk about the zucchini noodles.
Okay, the only reason that now everyone's going to hate Scott. I swear this is probably, the zucchini noodles are the reason he stays with me.
Oh
I swear, it's just, I mean, I'm kidding, but
are you?
It is his favorite recipe. I made these for him when we first started dating, and he was, that's the best recipe. I can't believe it. I love these. I can't believe it. It was so good. So when his mom asked me to come on board, Scott was the one that said, well, you have to include the zucchini noodles. You have to. So I did. I had to, you know?
Do you hear that, Scott? Not only am I somehow a magnet for pointing out all of your failures.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding, man. I just heard in that little story that your mom asked Ashley to participate in this book. So that means that your family does know how to ask questions.
I love this. Keep talking like that. I mean, we already adopted a cat together, so I feel like we're on the right path.
Oh my God, Scott. Seriously, Scott. What are you thinking?
This is great.
All right, now tell me about these zucchini noodles. What makes them so? What makes those noodles make a man want to keep you around?
Oh well, you know, it's that saying, "Kiss the chef." I'm just kidding.
I think it has something to do with how you bake them, so that they give off some of their moisture. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, zucchinis are naturally very, very high in water content.
Sure.
And when you bake them, as we do for this recipe, I mean, some people saute them. You don't have to bake them, but I choose to bake them. And when you do that, the moisture actually doesn't just leave the zucchini. So you still, in the directions you'll see after you take it out of the oven, they'll be charred a little bit, the edges of the zucchini spiral, but you still have to pat them down with a towel because you still have to soak up some of the water. They're actually, zucchinis are very good for your skin because of their water content. So maybe that's why he stayed with me. Also because he fell in love with me, but still.
Sounds like you fell in love with your zoodles. So how often do you make these zucchini noodles for him? And where did you come up with that recipe? Where do you come up with your recipes?
Well, I think I make the zoodles maybe once a month. He always asks for them, but I try to switch everything up. And now he's trying to try every single recipe in the book. But funny enough, I came up with this recipe for some girlfriends of mine. A few years ago, I had two of my girlfriends over. One, at the time, decided to be dairy-free. So I was like, this is great. I can make something that we can all enjoy. And now that you're dairy-free, the restriction is easier for me. So I originally had made it into sort of like an alcohol-free vodka sauce. I soaked cashews, blended them, and made that into the cream to mix in with the tomato sauce. And that I used butternut squash, beet noodles, and zucchini. For these specifically, we wanted to use zucchini noodles for me just because that was my favorite. And then with the zucchini noodles, I decided to leave out the cashews because I didn't want it as creamy as it once was. So the recipe actually came from trying to cook for my friends. And then it just turned into my boyfriend's favorite dish.
Nice. That's very cool.
I didn't even know him at the time when I wrote this recipe.
Oh, cool. So are any of these recipes something that are, generational or handed down? Because, that's a pretty common tradition is to hand cookbooks down and, I'm making grandma's this or grandma's that.
That is fairly common. However, none of these recipes were handed down. All of these were written specifically for the book. I will say that my family was great in that they were my taste testers, which is wonderful.
Yeah, it sounds like a tough job.
I mean, but the thing is, you would assume that your family would be very biased and just lie to you and say, "Oh yeah, no, it's delicious."
Shit, not
my family is not that. My family, they're New Yorkers, so they are blunt and to the point. And if they didn't like something,
okay.
Never mind. But my family was really great. They were really great taste testers, and they were to the point if they didn't like something or thought a flavor profile was a little off.
Interesting. You know what else is interesting?
What?
Page 299, sticky strawberry donuts.
Oh, okay. So one of my favorite recipes in the book. Yes. These sticky strawberry donuts, I love them. That was created, honestly, I had Valentine's Day in mind when I created these. You can see from the picture, they are full of just this rich pink color, which I have to say in plant-based foods, it's not always easy when baking with them to create such a rich color. So that was something I was really, really happy about. But I love strawberries. I am obsessed with strawberries. So I really just wanted to incorporate a few more into the recipe. That was one of the last recipes, but it was the first photo that I took in the process of taking photos, funny enough.
So in this picture, there is a bite taken out of this donut.
Mm-hmm.
Who took that bite?
Who do you think took that bite?
I'm going to guess that it was Michael Scott from The Office.
How did you know?
No, am I wrong?
Actually,
Yeah.
It was Michael Scarn. You know Michael Scarn.
I don't know who that is.
You know Michael Scott wrote that movie.
Oh, that book.
No, he wrote the movie.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was a movie. You're right. It was a movie.
And he goes, "Clean up on aisle 5." You know?
You're so funny.
That's my line reading for you.
That is a deep pull for all you The Office nerds. Well done, Ashley.
I'm obsessed with The Office.
Sure.
I am actually obsessed with The Office.
You must be.
I love it. I'm really glad you brought it up and I didn't, though, because sometimes I get in trouble for talking about it too much.
Finally, somebody else brought it up.
Right?
Besides you. What makes a banana chocolate brownie gooey?
Oh, okay. Everything. Well, specifically the banana. Bananas are really, really great to work with because they are very malleable. I mean, think about it. You can have a banana in so many different ways. You can just eat it plain. You can slice it, put it in cereal. You can blend it and put it into a smoothie. And in this case, I blended it and baked it into a brownie. And when baked, they become this, or maybe not when baked, when cooked, they become this delicious, almost like molten consistency. And it's divine. And as you heat up bananas, the sugar, the natural sugar in it becomes more palatable. So I love bananas. Ugh.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
Hey guys, if you like what I'm doing, click the Amazon banner at the top of the homepage on FascinationStreetPod.com and do all of your shopping through Amazon. Once you click on it and it takes you to Amazon, you can bookmark it or add it to your favorites and you won't have to go to my site each time. It helps me keep the show going, and again, thanks for listening.
Hey, are you interested in getting from A to B while sitting? At Detroit Bikes, we've got a new product that I think you're going to love. It's a bicycle. It's got 2 wheels, hence the bi. And the sickle is because it's a cycle that your wheel's going. So this is a product where you've got a seat. You are actually sitting while moving.
Wow.
And it's as easy as just pedaling, pushing with your legs. So we think that customers are going to love this product, and we hope you'll check it out at www.detroitbikes.com.
www.detroitbikes.com.
Let's get back into it.
Now, I don't normally do this, but this might be the first time ever that I have called my guest a liar. I'm going to call BS on this whole plant-based cookbook thing because I'm looking at page 319, and there's a recipe here for how to cook turtles and cover them in apples. So what's that all about?
Oh my God, you're hysterical. Apple turtles, yes. Well, that I wrote for our Kids in the Classroom chapter. So this chapter is specifically designated for children to do at home on the weekends in a classroom. And if you'll see next to them and next to the apple turtles, there's a recipe for apple donuts. And funny enough, I wrote those 2 recipes at the same time. But apple turtles it's really great. You slice the apple. In this case, I used Granny Smith apples. Those are my favorite. They're very tart and green like turtles. You place everything, the grapes, the cacao nibs on top of the apple to make it look like a turtle. And we have a photo of it so that you can actually see for reference what we're talking about. But they're so fun and kids love them. My cousin, he adored them. So that he was a really great taste tester. I mean, he's only 4, but I believe he has a very adult palate, even though that's for kids anyway.
Stop the presses. We have fruit bears.
Oh my God. You keep naming all of my favorites. The fruit bears, there's also a photo of that as well. That recipe was so fun to create, not just because you get to play with your food to create the bears, but because that recipe specifically incorporates a bunch of fruit. My favorites, bananas, strawberries. There's blueberries for the eyes of the bears. And another thing about this recipe and this chapter, Nibbles in the Classroom, is that all of these recipes are completely nut-free. So they're perfect for the classroom. You know, in this day and age, you really can never tell who's allergic to what, and you don't want to take that chance. And that's something that we really, really took into consideration. So we have a recipe in here, Ants on a Log, which everyone knows is, I assume everyone knows the original, which is celery stalks chopped with some creamy peanut butter and then raisins placed on top. We switched it up, and instead of peanut butter on top of the celery stalks, we put sunflower butter because we really wanted something that every child can enjoy and nobody is left out.
I finally found the picture with the turtle.
Yeah.
This is so cute.
Oh, thank you. I took that photo too. Thank you.
This is a precious little turtle. Oh my gosh.
Aww.
That is so cute. And these bears are hilarious.
Thank you
oh
so
my
much.
Gosh.
I'm glad you like. Yeah, the bears
are so
are
cool.
so fun. They're really, really fun.
All right. What is your absolute favorite recipe in this book? You can only have one. If you pick two, Hitler's going to come back to life. So these are the stakes. You can only have one.
Oh, my. All right.
Big stakes.
Yeah, that's a tough one. All right. Well, I'm going to get the page for everyone. I'm not going to let Hitler come back. Okay. So my favorite is my Berry Berry Crumble on page 301. Like I said, I love strawberries, and strawberries are included in this recipe. But more than anything, I wanted to try and come up with, normally crumbles are written with blueberries, and you've heard it, I'm sure, blueberry crumble. Sometimes apples are included. I really wanted something a little more rich and a little more, I guess, colorful. So I chose strawberries and blackberries for the actual interior of the crumble. It's topped with rolled oats. Most of my recipes in here are gluten-free, but this is not gluten-free. The Berry Berry Crumble is topped with rolled oats and whole wheat pastry flour, some coconut sugar, cinnamon, and cashew butter, also known as cashew cream. It's the same consistency as peanut butter, but actually it's a little smoother, it's a little thinner, but that's why it's so great to use for the crumble. You just mix all of that together. I used my hands. It's very, very fun. And you just sprinkle it on top of the berries and you bake it. It's just a natural, plant nutritious and processed sugar-free version of crumble that you would get at a restaurant.
Now, one of the things that I guess I just now noticed when we were talking about how the pages and the recipes are structured, how they have all these different little, I guess, segments, directions and shopping lists and tips and facts and nutrition. Mm-hmm. Also, each recipe, sort of up at the top right corner, you can find out if there's a photo. So if you're looking at a recipe and there's a little picture of a camera, then that means that one of these wonderful glossy photos is them. So that'll super duper help you try and figure out what you want to make, because you're going to go, oh my God, I want that.
Oh yeah, that's great. And the photos, the actual photo, we list the page number that the recipe is on.
That is correct.
So we're really trying to make things as easy as possible when reading this book and choosing a recipe. There's also a very detailed index in the back of the book that we worked very, very hard on the night before the book went to print. That index is something that we're all very, very proud of. So use it. If you have a specific recipe in mind, use the index.
Yes, definitely use it. And also, I think it's really cool that you have a 7 days of meals sort of a calendar thing.
That was our nutritionist idea, which I love that she did that. Her name is Jyl Steinback. She's wonderful, and that was all her passion. She was very passionate about creating a meal plan for people, just to make, so we've made the book as simple as we think we could have made it. And then we just wanted to go that much further and make it even more easy for people to follow. Meal prep is big right now, and it's something a lot of people really need. They need that food structure for their lifestyle if they're going to work or they're just at home, but they don't really know what they're going to make or what they're going to eat. So this details an entire full week of food for you, starting with breakfast, lunch, dinner, a snack, dessert, as well as an appetizer if you want that. And it's very easy to follow, day 1 through 7. It's something that I'm very proud of for this book.
Very cool. The book, again, guys, is called Think Outside The Lunchbox. It is a cookbook by Jyl Steinback and Ashley Arpel Greenwald and friends. Where can everybody find this book, Ashley?
Oh, it's simple. It's on Amazon. You can order it Prime, and it'll arrive in 2 days. It's very, very easy, and I know you're all going to love it.
So, guys, go ahead and go to fascinationstreetpod.com and click on the amazon.com link and then buy this book through that link. It gives me, I probably will get a half a penny if you buy this book. And those half a pennies add up, and let's keep this train moving.
Oh, yeah.
Now, before we let you go, is there anything we didn't talk about or I didn't ask you about that you wanted to talk about?
My intelligence, my beauty, I'm just kidding. We covered everything. I expected you to laugh.
Well, you got to talk about them somewhere, because obviously Scott doesn't even know those things exist, because y'all aren't even engaged yet.
Not yet. No, you covered everything. Thank you so much for having me. And I really appreciate your exquisite detail on specific recipe questions. And it really means a lot that you and your wife enjoy the book. So I really, really hope that you make some recipes, photograph them, and send them my way because I want to see everything that you guys create.
Cool. I'll send you pictures of our children. Now, because we created them. Haha. See how that's funny?
Right.
Also, it was not just me and my wife who enjoyed thumbing through this book. We had our good friends in town for the weekend, and both of them really, really enjoyed checking this thing out. So it was fun to have a new thing to pass around the table, and everybody, we talked about it, and people oohed and awed over the pictures and talked about how cool it was that this was even a thing. So well done, lady.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot. I'm really glad they enjoyed it as well.
You're welcome. Actually, tell everybody where they can find you on social media so that they can tell you how much they love this amazing book.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, the book's social media is at thinkoutsidethelunchbox.today. And my personal Instagram is at That's Ashley's Kitchen. I update both regularly with new recipes, new giveaways, so many fun stuff. So definitely give the book and give my business a follow, and we may meet. We may chat.
Yes. So, guys, and I promise, if you're anywhere near the Los Angeles area and you need somebody to come over and take pictures of whatever you're eating real quick, call That's Ashley's Kitchen. They do all kinds of food photography and
food photography, food styling, and videography. You can check out, that's also on our Instagram.
Oh, nice. Food stylizing, food photography, food videography. Hey, Food Network LA, why don't you call That's Ashley's Kitchen and things?
Right? Hit me up. One day, that's the dream, to have a show on the Food Network. I mean, one day I'll get there.
Come on, Giada, what are you doing? Help a sister out.
Yeah, put in a good word.
Yes, I will do that. I will get off of this interview and call Giada up post haste.
Thank you. You are the sweetest.
You are the sweetest. Now, I guess that's it. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to edit this thing and see if I can't get Scott furious at a complete stranger on the other side of the world.
Thank you.
Ashley Arpel Greenwald, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day and schedule to let us get to know you even more and talk about this new cool cookbook. And I got to make fun of your boyfriend for 45 minutes. That was fantastic.
It was wonderful. It was a win-win for both of us.
Since you're so good at photography and videography and things, just go ahead and take a picture of him while he's listening to this. It should be fun.
It definitely will be. I will send that your way.
Nice. All right. Thank you, Ashley. You have a great rest of your week.
Thank you, too. Thank you. Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
As always, thanks for listening, Streetwalkers. And don't forget, follow the show on Twitter at FascinationSTPD, on Instagram at Fascination Street Pod. Follow the podcast page on Facebook at Fascination Street Podcast. And of course, you can always email me at fascinationstreetpod@gmail.com. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and rate us on iTunes. Opening music is the song Magnolia from the 2014 album Intransigence, used with permission from Douglas Miles Clark. Closing music is Apollo from the 2001 album Into the Known by the band Sapphire. Thanks for hanging out with us and getting to know a little bit about our guest. We'll see you next time on Fascination Street.